Hello, fourth grade, and for today's music lesson, we're going to start off and continue learning about a little bit of Native American music. So last week we started listening to a little bit of Native American music, and we learned a little bit of history and things like that. So today I'm taking a look at our music checklist for this week, and this is the same checklist that you're going to see on Schoology. So let's go down the checklist for number 1. It says watch Miscellaneous video. So if you're seeing this, good job, you're already watching it. Then A, it says listen to this while coloring your glyph. And then for B, it says click here for your coloring glyph. So today we are going to start off with a little coloring page or a coloring glyph. And if you don't know what a coloring glyph is, well, let's take a look at this page. It says, while you listen to the music, use the color key and your ears to help you decide which color is best to use for each number. Okay? So if at home, if you have a printer, you can print this out and then color it on that paper. If you don't have a printer, then you can open up this coloring page, for example, in Paint. This is the color page for the third graders, but you can open it up in Paint, and then you can use like the coloring and the little bucket tool to color in whatever you need to color in. Or if you want to color with markers or crayons, you can take a spare piece of paper and then try to redraw this image, or you can try to trace it onto that spare piece of paper. So whichever way you're coloring it, I'm going to go ahead and explain how this is going to work. So let's take a look at number 1. It says while you're listening, you're going to listen to the music. If you hear instruments, you're going to color in the number 1 blue. If you do not hear instruments in the music, you're going to color in the number 1 black. So let's go back to the music here. I'm going to listen first. I'm going to pause it. So I definitely hear instruments already, just for a few seconds, listening to the music. So it says instruments blue. So I'm going to take my little coloring page I have here. I'm going to get my marker number 1. I'm going to color in blue, because I do hear instruments. Alright, so if you see right here, I colored in all of these number 1s blue because I did hear instruments. Now let's look at the number 2. It says singing or no singing. So if you do not hear singing, you're going to color it in peach. Or if you do hear singing, you're going to color in peach. If you do not, you're going to color in yellow. Then let's look at 3 and 4, because there are some words here that we haven't really talked about too much. So number 3, it says dynamics. Now if you know what dynamics means in music, awesome. And if you don't, that's okay, we're going to talk about it here. So in music, dynamics means how loud or how soft the music is. Alright, so let's say when someone is singing, you're going to start singing really quiet, and then they change and they go louder, and then they go quiet and louder and quiet and louder. So they go up and down. So let's look at this glyph again. For number 3s, it says color it in red if the dynamics stay the same. So if it's like 1 steady, if they stay quiet the whole entire time, it stays the same. Or maybe they stay loud the whole entire time, color in red. If they change, if they get louder and softer and louder and softer and go up and down, maybe in the middle, that means the dynamics are changing, so you're going to color it in orange. Now for the number 4s, it says tempo. So if you did our lesson last week, maybe you remember what tempo means when we did our little Chrome Music Lab experiments. We learned a little bit about tempo. Alright, so in music, tempo means how fast or how slow the music is. Alright, so remember we talked about a steady beat. let's go back to the glyph here. Alright, so if the tempo stays the same, you're going to color it in green. So if we have a nice steady beat going the whole entire time, you're going to color it in green. Then if the tempo changes, maybe it goes slower and then it goes faster and then it goes slower, you're going to color it in purple. Okay? So while I was doing my coloring, it took me, maybe I listened to this music twice, and it was just enough time for me to finish up my coloring. So listen to the music as many times as you need to, and take your time, make sure you color in the lines and color in as best as you can. So right now I want you to pause this video because I'm going to show you how my glyph looks like when I finished coloring it, and I don't want you to see my colors until you finished up yours. So pause this video, and here is your warning. I'm going to show you how my coloring glyph turned out. So let's take a look at it. This is how my coloring glyph looks. Now I'm going to go through the different numbers. For number 1, the instruments or no instruments, I colored in my ones blue because I did hear instruments. Then look at number 2. I did not hear singing, so I colored in my number 2's yellow. So that's most of my little bag here. I colored in yellow. Then let's look at number 3's. For me, I did hear dynamics changing, so I colored in my 3's right here, orange. And then the last one, number 4's, I colored in my 4's green because I heard that the tempo did stay the same, or for the most part stayed the same the whole entire time. So here's how my glyph looks like. And if your glyph looks a little bit different, maybe you did hear the tempo change or something like that, that's okay. Maybe you heard something else, you heard maybe some different parts of the music, and that's okay. Alright, so when you finish up coloring your glyph, I want you to take a picture of it. If you did it digitally, you can try to take a screenshot. If you colored it on a piece of paper, you can take a picture with your Chromebook camera. And this week I want you to upload a picture of your coloring glyph to Schoology so I can see how awesome yours turned out. And I'm going to choose a couple of them to post or to print out and hang up on the walls here at school. Alright, so make sure at the end you take a picture of your glyph and post it on Schoology. Alright, now the last thing on our checklist says Chrome Music Lab Experiments, and for this we're going to go back to Chrome Music Lab, and we're going to focus on the Melody Maker today. And for today, you can just have fun, experiment with the Melody Maker. So if I'm taking a look at it, you can click all the blocks, so you can only have one color in each of the different sections of the music. And then you can go ahead and press play. Down here is a little bar that will tell us the tempo, so how fast or how slow the music is. Then, once you selected your blocks, you can click and keep a few of them empty, or you can have them all filled in, up to you. Then I'm going to click this little button, the little square, or the rectangle, arrow rectangle, and you see it's going to add a few gray blocks in here. And that's going to add some extra sounds to make your melody a little bit more interesting, so I'm going to hit play. Alright, and it adds some interesting sounds to your music. So go ahead, have fun, and experiment with that.